On Christmas Eve of 1945, the Sodder family of Fayetteville, West Virginia, faced a devastating and mysterious tragedy that has puzzled investigators, researchers, and amateur sleuths for decades. What began as a presumed accidental fire quickly evolved into one of the most perplexing unsolved mysteries in American history: the disappearance of 5 Sodder children. Despite numerous investigations, theories, and reported sightings, the fate of the missing children remains a mystery. This is the full, detailed account of the Sodder family tragedy and the lingering questions that surround it. Welcome back to my channel. Please like, share, and subscribe for more interesting and unbelievable stories. George Sodder, originally Giorgio Soddu, immigrated to the United States from Italy in 1908. He was a hardworking man who eventually settled in Fayetteville, West Virginia, a small town with a significant population of Italian immigrants. George built a successful trucking business, providing a comfortable life for his wife, Jenny, also of Italian descent, and their 10 children. The Sodder family was known for their strong work ethic and close-knit bonds. George was outspoken about his political views, particularly his opposition to Italian dictator Benito Mussolini. His criticism of Mussolini often sparked heated debates within the local Italian community, where opinions about the dictator were divided. The Sodder family's Christmas Eve began like any other holiday celebration. The family's eldest daughter, Marion, had brought home presents from her job at a department store. The younger children were excited and eager to stay up late playing with their gifts. Around 10 p.m., Jenny sent the younger children to bed, while George and the older children stayed up a bit longer. Around midnight, Jenny was awakened by the sound of the telephone ringing. When she answered, a woman's voice asked for someone Jenny didn't recognize. Jenny later recalled hearing laughter and clinking glasses in the background. She told the caller they had the wrong number and hung up. As she returned to bed, Jenny noticed that some lights were still on and the curtains open, unusual for the family's nighttime routine. She turned off the lights, closed the curtains, and went back to sleep. Shortly after, Jenny was awakened again, this time by a loud thump on the roof followed by a rolling noise. She initially dismissed it as nothing out of the ordinary and fell back asleep. Within minutes, she woke up to the smell of smoke. Jenny quickly woke George, and the two rushed to wake the children. The house was already engulfed in flames. George and Jenny, along with 4 of their children, Sylvia, 2, Marion, 17, John, 23, and George Jr., 16, managed to escape. However, 5 of the younger children, Maurice, 14, Martha, 12, Louis, 9, Jenny, 8, and Betty, 5, were still inside. George attempted to rescue the children but was thwarted at every turn. His ladder, which he always kept propped against the house, was missing. He tried to start one of his trucks to drive closer to the house, but neither of the family's 2 vehicles would start, despite having worked perfectly the day before. In desperation, George attempted to climb the house's exterior wall but couldn't gain access. The family could do nothing but watch as the house was consumed by flames. The fire burned down the house within 45 minutes, leaving only smoldering rubble. The family assumed the 5 missing children had perished in the blaze. However, a search of the debris revealed no human remains. A local fire chief suggested that the fire had been so intense that it completely cremated the bodies, but this explanation seemed implausible. Bone fragments should have remained, even in the hottest of fires. Jenny conducted her own experiments by burning animal bones, but none were ever fully incinerated. This only deepened her suspicion that something far more sinister had occurred. Suspicious circumstances. As the Sodders began to piece together the events leading up to the fire, several strange details emerged. The mysterious phone call Jenny received shortly before the fire remained unexplained. The caller's laughter and party-like background noises raised suspicions that it was a prank or a distraction. The missing ladder, the family's ladder, which George intended to use to reach the children's bedroom, was found discarded in a nearby ditch. Disabled trucks, George's trucks, which he hoped to use to access the second floor, mysteriously failed to start. Both vehicles had worked perfectly the previous day. cut phone line, investigators discovered that the phone line to the house had been cut, preventing the family from calling for help. Initially, it was believed the fire had damaged the line, but an inspection revealed it had been deliberately severed. The object on the roof, Jenny's recollection of the loud thump and rolling sound on the roof, led to the discovery of a strange, rubber-like object in the yard. It was later identified as a pineapple bomb, an incendiary device used in warfare. Theories and investigations. The Sodders refused to accept the official explanation that their children had died in the fire. They believed the fire was intentionally set and that their children had been abducted. Over the years, the family pursued numerous leads and theories. Sightings. Several reported sightings of the missing children surfaced. One woman claimed to have seen them in a passing car on the night of the fire. Another reported seeing them at a Charleston hotel weeks later, accompanied by 2 men and 2 women of Italian descent. Ransom note: the Sodders received a letter claiming that the children were being held by an unnamed group demanding a ransom. However, this lead went nowhere. Political motive. George's outspoken criticism of Mussolini led some to speculate that the fire was an act of retaliation by pro-Mussolini factions. Desperate for answers, the Sodders erected a large billboard near their home, displaying photographs of the missing children and offering a reward for information. The billboard became a local landmark and remained in place for decades. It read, "What was their fate? Kidnapped? Murdered? Burned?" George Sodder died in 1969, and Jenny passed away in 1989. Both went to their graves without knowing the fate of their children. The surviving Sodder siblings continued to seek answers but found no resolution. The case remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in American history. To this day, the question lingers: what happened to the 5 Sodder children? The story of the Sodder family is a chilling reminder of how quickly tragedy can strike and how unanswered questions can linger for generations. Was it a tragic accident, or was there a more sinister plot at play? The truth may never be known, but the Sodder family's determination to uncover the fate of their children is a testament to the power of hope and love. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more compelling stories. Let us know in the comments what you think happened to the Sodder children. Until next time, stay curious.